The first time he came and took my mother out on a date, when he dropped her off, I'm looking out the window, and he throws his hat up in the air, Mary Tyler Moore style, and he's like this. And I just thought he was the weirdest thing I had ever heard. And you were right. I was right. But he grew on me, you know, over the years. We had the teenagers were, you know, like any teenager in the house. But it was funny because I was probably 12 or 13. And he was telling me something, he was mad at me about something, and I said, that's not fair. And he said to me, Christine, whoever told you life was fair? Life's not fair. And at the time, of course, that made my blood boil and, you know, stomped out of the house. But through the years, and I'm glad I let him know multiple times, you know what? Nobody told me that. I was pretty much an only child before David and Lisa, and spoiled. And quite frankly, but actually I've used that through the years, that, you know what, life isn't fair, but you got to deal with what you get. So I just treasure that part. And then the only other thing I want to say, because this just used to crack me up, he was meticulous about keeping his books and his money. And I don't know how he found anything if you ever saw his desk, because it would be just a disaster area. But I just remember when Mom used to go buy something, and she'd bring it in, say, a new pair of shoes. He'd say, well, how much was it? And she'd say, first she had to give the whole story as to why these shoes were wonderful, and that she needed them, and she wasn't a big shopper, but, you know, so she's going through this 10-minute explanation before she'd say how much they were. And he'd say, okay. And then he'd run downstairs to the books and write it down, and that was it. But it was just, it used to crack me up, because I was like, this whole constant routine. Is it true?
How much was it? How much was it?
How much was it?
Do you need more of those?
So, and I will just say that, you know, Herb and I have spoken a lot since Mom died, and there were times when, you know, like, oh, I'm dating this one, I'm dating that one, that it was just like I'd look up and say, oh, Mom, please help me. But very much comforted when Tiffany came along, and it was, you know, I could relax. I didn't feel like, you know, oh, we're on this train ride, and I don't know where the next stop is. So, and I know he found great joy and happiness, and that's a comfort. So I appreciate that, and I will miss him dearly. So.